Welcome in. Gather to your seats in the virtual auditorium here. Great to have you guys here. We're in a couple of different places. We're over on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Most of you that joined were on YouTube, and also Twitter, or X, I should say, right? And let me make sure I've got your comments over here. And I want to make sure I'm getting some sound on this, so we don't want any of that. If I only knew how to... Oh, well, that's fine there. Welcome. My name is Patrick Antrim. I'm the chairman of Multifamily Innovation Council and also the CEO of Multifamily Leadership. And we're here to talk about three things specifically in multifamily. Good morning, Nicholas, Jonathan, over on LinkedIn. Good to see you guys. A lot of great people over on YouTube. Bobby, Sean, Sarah, Terry. Good to see you guys. Franklin, David, Angela. Good to see you guys. Listen, as we go, I've prepared a few things for you in this press conference. I'll stick around at the end and answer any questions or be available for conversation engagement. So don't hesitate to chime in into the chat as we go along here. This is part of a community broadcast here. So we're here to talk about three things. Number one is the multifamily industry's public image. We're also here to talk about the current revenue narrative that is affecting all of us, and then bracing for an upcoming technology revolution. And the theme today, as I make my remarks, are really about taking command of our own data, our own technology, and our own story. Hi, Heidi. Lorena, good to see you. Miriam, good to see you. I'm in our studio in Scottsdale, and this is an attempt to reach you where you are and bring the conversation forward. We could have easily just made a press release and published something for everybody to read, which we will do after. But this is an opportunity to hear and ask questions about the release as we make it here live with you today. So thank you for being involved. As chairman of the Multifamily Innovation Council, I get to spend time with current multifamily owners and operators, and we're looking each week at their current challenges, the realities of where they are today in business. And of course, obviously, how they want to create a bigger and better future for their business, their teams, their investors. And it's the stuff that's in the business today, these challenges, and we're also looking at their current priorities. It's one thing to have something you want to do, but is it a priority in your business? And I know a lot of you that are selling softwares and solutions, that can be a challenge, is not having an understanding to the alignment, to the timing of the offer versus the understanding of the offer. And so what this allows me and really us to do as a group is to identify who speaks at our events. That's why we don't do call for speakers. We draft our speakers because we spend time with them every week. We know their ability to contribute and to share and to express ideas and clarify them for others to understand. And it allows us to also prioritize what we talk about at these events. So it's really an uninfluenced voice around what's current in our business, what the opportunities we want to create, and alignment to the priorities that we have in our business. So, and we stay with them all year round, right? Because things are moving fast. You can't wait a year or go to an event every year to do something. It's just, that's an old time that we've lived through. Today is today. And this has been 2 years now, I don't know, a couple hundred meetings. It's been remarkable, the impact we've been able to make. So it's humbled me to be part of that each week. Right now, that process is for multifamily owners and operators, and we're working with the council to figure out ways to weave our sort of industry partners, our vendors, into the conversation, because we need to better understand certain technologies, and we need better education from certainly how products can be utilized in the business. So that's interesting. And then the goal there is, in these meetings, because they're private, we report back out to the industry free through the podcast, and I write a newsletter every week together with the Multifamily Innovation podcast. So you can hear from the council and maybe even build better products because of the feedback loop, right? That's essentially what it is. And it's a feedback loop without investing in a venture capital firm. Okay, so we give you access to conversations through that process. Now, I will also say that to answer the challenges that we have in our business, technology is not the only answer. It's not just technology alone. It's when the technology is implemented to make a business process better. This is what we're after. Nobody wakes up wanting more technology or another login. We're wanting to make our business better so we can provide relief to our residents, make our investors returns on the risks that they're taking, which today, as you know, is a higher level of risk, right? Actually, you know, in some, actually it's the same return with higher levels of risk, with the debt and all the vulnerabilities in the business today. But what's important and what I've learned about being involved in this council is every company is unique. There's no the reason why we're behind sometimes 10 years, as people have said, is because we can't do off-the-shelf stuff. Okay, it's hard to buy off-the-shelf solutions. Every company has different investment objectives, different priorities, different timelines, different structures, different priorities, right? Another thing that we don't do inside these meetings, we don't share investment advice. Nobody's looking to learn, right? Looking to make their business better. Go into a meeting and have a better question. We don't give them business advice. We don't give them legal advice, tax advice. We don't make any recommendations even on products. It's the people that have raised their hand for more in this industry that want to affect positive change, and they are people that join, not companies. If you think about it, companies join other groups in the industry. This is for people, individuals. It's a truly highest level professional association you can have for people that are doing big things in multifamily. And to me, it's been the most rewarding thing that I've done in my career in multifamily. And in the words of one of our members, it's like the Journal of Medicine for doctors, but for multifamily leaders, right? So doctors are busy. They know technology is part of surgeries and innovations today, but they need someone to curate and kind of say, hey, look here, and get peer-to-peer trusted information outside of sales conversations. Ultimately, we think that will accelerate sales. All right, let me just, again, after all that, I want to reset and help remind everybody why we're here. We're here to talk about three things, and that's the multifamily public image, right? The current revenue narrative that affects us all, and then bracing for an upcoming technology revolution. And just reminding you, the theme today really is to take command of our own data, our own technology, and our own story. If you leave here with that, this will be a productive time that we share together. Now let's start with the multifamily industry's public image. Now, if you're tuning in live, put in the comments, what do you think the biggest challenge is in multifamily with our image? Do you think it's favorable? Do you think it's unfavorable? How do you see people? Do you go to cocktail parties and tell people you're in multifamily? What response? I manage apartments. You know, what's the feeling people have? What's the perception that people have in the market? And you can even think about this online. Like, word travels faster than it's ever traveled before, and there's a perception in the marketplace about what our industry represents to the economy, to individual lives. And I'm going to tell you, you know, and again, put those thoughts in the comments, but I'm going to tell you how I see it. My opinion is this. Our children grow up in early ages and they are in classrooms. They're spending time with teachers, essentially at their workplace. So young children are experiencing the job of a teacher at an early age, very early age. And then they stay with that, right? They're forced to go on and graduate and all that stuff. And they see different teachers and different styles of leadership throughout their career. Also, they see firefighters and police officers in movies and even coming to the school, right? And they're heroes, right? They're rescuing people. And in movies, they certainly are that, right? They've championed that, and they deserve that praise, right? And you look at sports athletes, they're on TV, and the young children dream big dreams because they see what it's like to work in that environment. They're like, I want to get off a bus and have like cameras on me, and I want to sign autographs, and I want people cheering for me, and I want that. And they are emotionally connected to that job. And in a lot of ways, they don't look at the long bus rides, the hard hustle. You know, you go back to like the Michael Jordan story where early at 11 years old, children are told not good enough, right? How does that feel? They become driven, and then they hustle, and they create a career, and the world gets to see it on a stage. ESPN and the other media outlets tell those stories publicly, and the world gets to see those. We all have opinions one way or the other about them, but the reality is there's a story being told there, lived out, not in narratives by PR, but by the work that actually is getting done. And in multifamily, we have the opposite. We're up against a gravity that's the opposite of that. In movies, the word landlord has been a negative word. It's just slumlord. You've heard movies where they paint the picture of a landlord not taking care of buildings. The media news helicopters circle buildings, and there's a criminal in here, and there's this, and that's our news story. In children's books, it even talks about, like, you'll see children's books where it's like tearing down the forest to build condos, or a certain time of the year between now and the end of the year when you're watching romantic short films on streaming devices, you'll see romantic comedies where, you know, the big wealthy city money-making person comes into town and is going to tear down the trees and build condos, and it's bad for, like, those stories are at the fabric that we're not a part of. We're not a part of that story at all. I get to research, well, not me, but the research team gets to, we look at all the AKRs of these great companies that we celebrate at our Best Places to Work multifamily program. We celebrate them since 2014 at the Multifamily Innovation Summit. And when you look at the AKRs of these businesses, they're in the city, doing things for their community, making impressive commitments to their employees, their investors, building healthy organizations, even in just very troubling times. Now, that's a priority. But for us, we have the best marketers in multifamily. A lot of you are listening in, right? You're great at that. You're literally telling people that they shouldn't have the American dream, that they should rent here at our community. And that requires a lot of work, a lot of technology, a lot of great people. We're great at marketing properties, maybe not so great at marketing our companies. So much that people reach out to our team to help them do that because they know that trust and credibility is what people want in marketing. But, you know, if you think about this, the ownership structures today are very different than they've been before. You know, it used to be, you know, a group of individuals would be out hunting, fishing, and they'd be shooting pheasant or doing something, and let's build an apartment community, and that's why everything is, named Hunter Ridge or Pheasant this or Oak Tree that, because some founder saw some land at some point in time, had a vision for that, and when you walked into those leasing offices long ago, you would see displays, and there would be a leathery brochure, and it would have the story of the oak tree, and we would tell stories about what this building meant to the community, and then later on people would celebrate holidays and build lives in those communities. But that's not the story that we're hearing right now. And the reason why is we're not telling the story. The story on TikTok right now is that corporations are buying up all the real estate so they can control you. It's all about control. And you're seeing that disrupted message happening in other industries, the media industry, music industry, automotive industry. The industry has celebrated historically people that have bought a lot of stuff. Today, you're a top company if you can buy a lot of things. Yeah, at our program with the best places to work, we look at it differently. If you can build a healthy organization, you can be best. You don't have to be the top, but you can be the best. But these are the companies that are taking command of the story. We have those marketers on payroll in your business ready to tell those stories. We also have, guess what? We have something that is leverage. We have access to the customers. They're our residents. We don't need to get Congress or a senator. I mean, that work needs to be done on a regulation standpoint, but we need our residents to be reminded that they have great flexibility, a great lifestyle opportunity, and we built those homes. We have access to the customers. I would suspect that many of us are not communicating that to our residents. And you see this in voting, like go vote. There's campaigns to encourage people to vote. Our residents are not voting. They don't attend city council meetings. So if we go back to the supply and demand conversation, which is just math, there's plenty of information about the problems there and the amount of supply and the need for housing and all that stuff. But guess what? Our residents, when a deal hits city council, they're not in that room saying like, this apartment community is amazing. My life is so much better because of this. I have more community. I'm making friends. Like, those conversations aren't happening. The only people showing up to the city council meetings are the homeowners that are watching the news, circling that traffic's going to happen and there's crime and renter. They've heard an old story about what it means to rent, and they're the ones in the council meetings. So we need to take command of the story. And, when we talk about stories, facts and information are not enough. We know this. We've been saying there's supply and demand and we need to build, and the facts and information are not enough. I want everybody, if you're listening to this will benefit you in so many ways. There's a book called Change or Die. Read the book. I've read the book, and really quickly, the essence of this book is that facts and information are not enough. And even when a patient was faced with death, they didn't change behavior. So publishing information, writing reports, sending letters is not enough to inform and change behavior around the brand or the conversation around the rent narrative that we have. Because right now, it's not favorable, and I don't think it's going to get better unless we command the story. And it's not someone else's job to do it. It's our job to do it. You already support the wonderful work that our legislative bodies and committee members in our associations are doing probably every day to make this fight for you on a legal landscape, navigating the high levels of Congress and walking halls and doing the work that maybe you can't do. But you can still take command of your future, of your story, and talk to your residents and help them understand what it means to have a healthy balance of supply in our business. And share the wonderful stories in marketing that you're making happen in the communities that you're building and managing. The multifamily revenue narrative, as I move on to our point here, is just like we talked about in marketing. What we do, because we all want to be top, right? We want to be known as successful. We post press releases about all the money we're making. Why do we do this? Well, we want to do that to attract investors, show them that we're capable and confident, and lenders have due diligence when they're looking for, is this a group that's going, is a sponsor good, and all that stuff. That's all good. But it can't be all that we do. We need to add in those other things. Talk about when you bought the building. There should be 10 more press releases throughout the life cycle of how lives are changing and how the customers are experiencing new and better experiences. And we're helping to provide relief for the customers in this way. And we've negotiated this, and the residents are going to benefit from this new utility thing we did, or whatever it may be. But that's contributing to the narrative. We have to take accountability and know, like, we're contributing to the narrative. You go to a conference now, and there's data and slides about rent growth, which is celebrated, which is awesome, because that means you maximize value of the investment, right? Then you get another email same day with a call to action to fight rent control. So you can start to see how silly this can become. That there is a call for leadership, that everybody's involved to make an impact here in how the industry is perceived, because ultimately, if the industry doesn't do well, nobody does well. It's crying louder and louder that we need leadership. Historically, this is how it goes. We buy a property, we improve the property, we raise the rent, we sell it. And through that process, you have lender fees, acquisition fees, disposition fees, due diligence. You have all these things that increase the basis that when you sell it, the new buyer starts at a higher basis and then does their press release and begins the process again. And at what point is that sustainable? Here's what I believe. I believe that we can increase the value of the lease, not just the rents. Now, pause for a minute here. Rent growth is healthy for markets, and you need to see that. That does a lot for the community and for the investors and for just healthy growth of markets. So I'm not saying rent growth is not favorable or a good thing. What I'm saying is it's not the only thing. We only see one path to income: rent increases. We should be increasing the renter's purchasing power, not taking it away. Life as a renter should be better renting, and then we should hear more of those stories. Now, let me just say professionally, multifamily is about really wealth creation as a professional. And it's also about, after you've created the wealth, it's protecting the capital over generations. I mean, that ultimately is why we're all here. I want to bring attention to two of the wealthiest people in the world who care about making life better for their customer. Like they wake up every day, how do I make life better for my customer? And I'll pick on Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, who I don't subscribe or make testimonial about how they make decisions in their business and stuff like that, but you can pay a lot of attention to how they've reshaped those markets. And Jeff Bezos, for example, knows that as he looks forward 5-10 years in the business, knows that customers are going to be concerned about higher costs of things, and they'll probably want things delivered to them or experienced the things in a frictionless, easy fashion. And Elon is increasing the value of the vehicle, not just trying to lower the cost or sell more of them. He's actually trying to lower the price of the car, the vehicle. I think he sees it more as a software company, maybe even a tech company or data than a vehicle, whereas everybody else, the people that invented the manufacturing and the dealer network, are looking at an entirely different way of working. And they're catching up, trying to make things happen. So the challenge today is technology and our services is how we become more efficient in our business. But if integrations are slowed, it's actually contributing to the affordability crisis, and nobody is talking about it. You are paying more for the things you're involved in, your point solutions, your products, because there is a financial drag right now that is in place to bring innovative solutions to this industry. You also miss out on services or products because it's very hard to get into the industry and get to the solutions that the renters need for relief, and also the management companies are looking for lean ways to operate, and the owners who are looking for different paths to yield other than just rent increases. And I'm telling you, it's a hidden tax that the property owners are paying, and it's not on their balance sheet, it's not in their P&L, and they don't even see it. So it's my opinion, if you want to solve affordable housing, it's as much a technology problem as it is a supply and demand problem. I also want to talk about our third point that we came here to discuss today, which is bracing for technology revolution. If that is technology and services and solutions are part of efficient operations, which allows us to create some relief so we can deliver products and build them even affordably. If technology and services are part of that, then as the technology accelerates, it's only going to get worse. Now, I'm here to position you and tell you that we are going to make integrations joyful, we're going to make them fast, and we're going to make them easy. Now, this is something I've been working on for a long time, quietly. My team has researched north of 1.6 million units of thousands of attendees, online and in person, at around all the challenges and all the opportunities around integrations. We ask every event attendee, every time they attend an event, what their challenges are and what their opportunities are. And we do actual research around this conversation. And I personally have committed 7 figures to make this better. If you want to be involved, we'd love that. It's our industry that needs to thrive before we can thrive. And today, I can tell you that we can integrate to anything with an API. Simple as that. Now, if you're a technology company and you have an API, send us your documentation and we'll send you customers. The amount of effort to try and get customers and to weave into business is also inefficient. you will have the ability as a multifamily owner or manager, really as a technology company, to integrate your own things, to have the ability to control your own data. I can tell you that right now we have 200 plus integrations already, 900 plus modules. That number is going to continue to grow. You can automate integrations between applications, and it's not what anybody else is thinking about. It's bigger. It's not just the API. You have features that will allow for data to be transformed. You can connect the rare, unavailable apps that you may want to use via API. It allows you to get data from anywhere on the internet. If you're technical, this is through GET requests, through API connections. Or you can connect apps that you may have built internally for your own company. Every company is a technology company today. They may not have realized it yet. We can code and customize these integrations for any specific use. It's really the most incredible, flexible, what I'm calling a business platform that excels at solving our integrations, the challenges that were once thought as insurmountable. You'll have the opportunity on this platform to organize workflows by departments, by teams, by groups, and you're going to bring knowledge workers, people that are not developers, into seeing technology move throughout their organization. You're going to see how work flows. Right now, point to point, we don't know what happens in the background. You'll be able to error report that. You'll be able to see where things break. Be able to control scheduling and really delay features that will allow you to do pretty useful things in terms of timing and managing and running your tasks. Think about automation integrations with sales and marketing, operations, accounting, due diligence, acquisitions. There are payroll, recruiting, hiring. There are endless opportunities that you will think about in your business that will allow you to bring incredible efficiencies to your business. I also want to say that it's going to make life easier for our current integration vendors to talk to each other. That takes up time and resources. Imagine we give those developers their time back so they can build better products for you at a lower cost in some cases, right? We have teams that can support you in bringing AI and automation inside your business workflows. Business workflows. This is beyond a point-to-point solution. This is everything that happens in the business. We believe that we've created a win-win-win-win-win-win-win for the industry because there doesn't require any disruption. I think it makes all the current providers even more valuable. There's a lot of taxing on current property management systems that have to integrate and redundantly without standardization. Building silo systems to try and attempt to solve this. But this will be something that wins for the renter, the employee for better getting redundant work out of work, right? Creating a better employee experience. Point solution, an industry vendor, software technology. It's going to open up opportunities to unlock efficiencies at the property level and at the business level. And we're all going to do that without requiring technical revisions of properties and debt, technical debt. Now, I'm talking about this on a high level as part of technology being a solution to solving some of the bigger challenges that we have in this industry. But if we can't integrate them, we can't accomplish what we need to do together. Now, I'm going to be launching this at the Multifamily Innovation Summit in December, and I'm going to take the attendees through exactly what this means for them and their business. And those attendees will have the first shot at being able to access it. This is a 10 or 15-year vision here. This is not a product offering. This is a complete reimagine of the business. Think about everything that happens outside of your PMS. And what separates us from everything else that you see in the market is we focus on the business of multifamily. And what I know to be true is that if you want to have a great property investment, a multifamily property investment, you have to have a good business that oversees it. And our technology is scattered all the way around. You know, we respect that process when we build buildings. Engineers, building code, disciplines, working together with things in order to erect amazing things. We haven't taken that approach with technology. This is really the building infrastructure that's required so you can build awesome things. And you may not even need to depend on others to do it. You could build your own things. These are the conversations that we're having inside the Innovation Council. And now we have a platform that will bring productivity, efficiency, automation, and AI into multifamily companies. I think that this is going to allow people to have the opportunity to find paths to income, providing renters relief for the lives that they live. You no longer will need to integrate to the PMS because the PMS will integrate with you. Think of it like a BMS, a business management system. The PMS is for the property. A BMS is for your business. You can move properties in and out of this thing. It increases the enterprise value of the property. So when you go into a transaction, it has enterprise value. Things don't need to be broken. And third-party point solution providers don't need to break and start things up. You can transfer ownership of this technology. Manage users, teams, compliance, all the security levels have been achieved. And our first 100 customers will have access to our AI developers, automation experts, and you're going to save thousands of hours in your business across the entire company at a price that we won't offer again. And the integrations to our point solutions is this much of it. It's actually bigger. I thought that was the real challenge we were solving. It's not. You will wonder how we operated all these years without something like this. Now, if that's interesting to you, get in touch with me, LinkedIn, or if you got an email from me to be invited here, email me back, let me know how you want to be involved. Build this alongside with us. This is a 10, 15-year vision. We think we can do incredible things, and it empowers our operators to provide some relief to our residents, create more efficiencies in our business, and protect and control our own data, providing value to the enterprises that we're building and the investors that we're serving. Again, when you leave here today, as you go through your work, think about all the things you do outside your PMS. We'll bring AI and automation. We'll bring efficiency to all those business workflows affordably. It will be the most profitable software subscription you will have that is open and connected to make your business better, like a multifamily app store. And guess what? You don't have to be an app developer or a software developer to use it. This will unlock jobs and opportunities for those executives that have deep understanding of businesses and they want to solve problems. There's now a platform that they can solve that on for the companies that they serve as consultants and innovative partners. You start to think about the turnover problem in payroll, or in, I should say, HR, human relations. The amount of turnover we experience just from people running up the industry on career, they're just promoted and promoted, or leaving, or turnover, whatever that may be. Think about the process of hiring, recruiting, informing them that they have a new password, telling your 30 or 75 point solutions that you have logins to? What if those were automated, that it could tell that a new hire was made and we now have this username and they need an account set up? Those types of workflows will make your point solutions better. These things would not need to be logged into if automations and integrations worked together well. Accounting, finance. Look at the amount of Excel spreadsheets and tasks in maintenance and due diligence on the transfer of a property from management or the new acquisition or the disposition. There are business automations that are happening that's going to allow you to do incredible things in this business. Listen, go now to the multifamily, or actually it should be multifamilyinnovation.com. Go get a ticket to the December summit. We're talking about all these things, but that's not all we're talking about. If you're a multifamily owner and operator and you want to lean in and make a bigger impact and you want to take advantage of all that we have to offer inside the council, become a member. Just click on council. Go to multifamilyinnovation.com and click on council. I guarantee you'll be amongst the brightest minds in multifamily. That's a guarantee I have for you. And look, I'll stick around for questions. I haven't had an opportunity to look at some comments here that are being made if you have questions. But get to the summit. It's coming up fast, multifamilyinnovation.com. And let me just look through here. So Gavin asked the question, I think I see the full question here. Is this designed to negate having to build custom integrations around each PMS, CRM like Yardi, Entrata, RealPage, MRI, et cetera, that we have on their own barriers and rules for pushing and pulling data? So we're currently talking to these groups, right? I haven't talked to all of them. We don't see this as anything that intermediates any of those platforms. Right now, integrations are happening already. They're called HTTP requests through collections that people are coding, programmers are spending time on, and they have to do these every time there's a new integration. And oftentimes these integrations break, we don't know where they fail, all that type of stuff. And so what this allows you to do is get some clarity and build some endpoints to those systems that make it easy for us to do that redundantly. Think of it like a Zapier, so to speak, right? So what we do is we go out and we get the documentation. Nobody's really integrating with us. It's just people are doing their own integrations, right? So historically, you're an owner and operator and somebody has this really cool innovation that's going to allow you to do something really cool at the property and your residents want it. And if it's not integrated, you have to tell that vendor to go invest time, energy, and resources to get the documentation, get the license, which everybody would need to do. You'd have to have a license with the PMS systems. This is not intermediating any of that. And you would have to spend resources to try and make that, so you'd be integrating with the PMS. And what this allows us to do is, if we're integrating our own things, then we have an idea of where the data is going. We could route that data in new ways with different logic and give it out. And you may have investors that still want to see it on Microsoft OneDrive in an Excel sheet, and you could send it there, right? You could send it to Azure, right? And do business intelligence, AI, all kinds of analytics yourself, or you can have your point solution provider, when they're deploying that, they're deploying it in an environment that you can see, that you have control over, and when you sell that property, that integration is really yours. That workflow is yours. And I think this is an opportunity to understand that each integration is its own use case, right? Every company is different. Every company has different ways to integrate, but there are integrations already happening. It doesn't change that. Right now, we just make it easier so we can create a template for it or a workflow for it, so then you can move it across each property or each company that you manage. All right. Am I missing any questions here? I want to make sure that's scrolled all the way. Yes? Yep. Okay, cool. So again, I'm going to wrap up here. If you have any questions following up here, my name is Patrick Antrim, Chairman of the Multifamily Innovation Council. I invite you to join us at the Multifamily Innovation Summit coming up here in December. Just go to multifamilyinnovation.com. If you're interested in joining the council, there's an opportunity to do that. Just click on Council. That's for owners and operators. And excited to spend the time with you. Thank you for your time today, and we'll see you guys in the next one.